Right now, community members in Sun Prairie honor the lives of two boys who passed away after falling into a pond. But first, a winter storm hours away from hitting southern Wisconsin. Gary has just how much snow we can expect. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. It is a quiet night across southern Wisconsin, but yet another major winter storm is waiting for us. Starting in the early morning hours, our first warned weather team alert days in the forecast for tomorrow through Wednesday morning of next week. And snow isn't the only concern here. Strong winds also in the forecast, meaning drifting snow will cover our roads, and plummeting temperatures after the snow, and particularly next week, will lead to a stretch of bitterly cold weather. News 3 Now has team coverage tonight, keeping you best prepared ahead of the storm. Armand Rahman will share some tips for those driving if you do end up having to go anywhere tomorrow. But first, let's get to the weather patio with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti and the very latest. Gary.
No snow out here right now. Skies are just cloudy, but we're just a few hours away from starting to see the first flakes of snow from the storm fall. As we look at the first warned weather alert day that we have in the forecast, actually 2 days for tomorrow and Saturday. This is for a major winter storm. We're probably looking at about 7 to 12 inches or more of snow across southern Wisconsin. It'll become very windy. We could see some wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, and that could lead to significant blowing and drifting snow, especially tomorrow night into Saturday, even as the snow winds down. Then, after we have this snow of about 9 to 12 inches through much of southern Wisconsin, maybe a little bit more, closer to a foot closer to Lake Michigan, just a tad less north of the Dells, and winter storm warnings already in effect to our south and west, and they will be in effect through noon on Saturday. That snow heading in our direction. You can see it across Iowa and western Illinois. Still not here yet, but 6-hour future track radar shows that things will change in a hurry. Once that snow starts, it's going to continue steadily through the day tomorrow. Snowfall amounts early by tomorrow morning, probably about an inch to maybe as much as 2 or 3 inches, and then the snow picks up in intensity. Current temperatures right now, upper 20s around Madison, a little colder back toward the La Crosse area. We'll see those temperatures drop off a few degrees and then actually hold steady or even rise a bit during the overnight hours. But you can see we also have weather alert days in the forecast for Sunday morning through Wednesday morning. This is for the bitterly cold temperatures after the storm. Low temperatures could be from 0 to perhaps as cold as 10 to 15 below zero. You factor in the winds, and we're looking at wind chills perhaps as cold as 30 to 35 degrees below zero for some of those days. Look for the snow to pick up probably after about maybe midnight or 2 a.m. Temperatures drop to about 21 and then hold steady overnight. Later on, I'll time out that storm, show you when the snow will end, and then how much those temperatures will drop along with the bitterly cold wind chills.
All right, Gary, thank you. And if your kids had school tomorrow, well, now they don't. School closures started trickling into the newsroom earlier this afternoon, and they really didn't stop. You can see all of the school district closures on our website, channel3000.com. Well, this may seem like a bit of a Wisconsin winter joke online, but Iowa County Sheriff's deputies pulled over someone driving like this on the highway. And ahead of tomorrow's storm, authorities tell our Armand Rahman it is an important reminder to make sure you have complete visibility when you're driving in winter weather like this. Armand?
Yeah, Eric, it's not snowing right now, but obviously when it does, you know, you just stay off the roads at all. But if you are like us and you have to get to work tomorrow, you can feel the need to rush through cleaning your cars. But Iowa County Sheriff Mike Peterson says getting to work on time is no excuse to drive like this, especially at 70 miles per hour. One of his deputies pulled someone over on U.S. Highway 18 driving with only a bit of the driver's side windshield unobscured. The rest of the front and back windows remain covered in snow.
You've taken out your vision from being wide and putting it down to a small, narrow spot to make sure that everybody is safe before they hit the highways. That extra 5 minutes could save someone's life, or it could save you from getting into a crash or something.
And that wasn't the only one. The Wisconsin State Patrol also posted this picture of a car with a lot of snow still on the hood and the top part of the windshield. They say snow and ice can slide off the roof or blow off the hood and fly into your window or suddenly obscure other drivers. So make sure if you do have to drive at all during this storm, make a checklist. Make sure to clean off your windows, lights, roof, and hood. But of course, if you can, stay off those roads entirely. Live outside the studio, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Armand, thank you. All non-essential Dane County government operations will be closed tomorrow because of the storm. Essential public safety services, of course, police and fire will remain open, but non-essential ones will close. The county's emergency operations center will continue to monitor the storm. Several communities across southern Wisconsin have already declared snow or winter emergencies. Overnight alternate side parking rules remain in effect citywide across Madison. City officials want your vehicles out of the way so they can effectively clear all this snow. Brian Johnson, who you just saw with the City of Madison Streets Division, says cars need to get off the streets and follow winter rules. Violations of alternate side parking rules are punishable by a fine of $60 throughout the entire City of Madison during the hours they need to work.
We can keep all of these streets wide and safe throughout the whole winter season because we got a lot of winter left, and it's definitely here now.
Well, the city has many resources to help keep track of the city parking rules. We've linked them online at channel3000.com. Next at 10 this afternoon in Sun Prairie, family and friends gathered to say goodbye to the two young boys who died after falling into a retention pond last week. Armand Rahman attended today's vigil and spoke with family and community members about the path forward.
Rest in heaven. Mommy loves you.
To say our goodbyes to the boys here when they took their last breaths, basically.
A farewell with the numbers 6 and 8. Those were the ages of Antoine and his brother Legend, and that makes it all the more painful for family members.
Emotional, stressful, hurtful, hard to understand how we gonna move forward from this without seeing progress in this area.
The two boys died after falling into an ice-covered retention pond near the Wildwoods North apartments. Cedric Smith taught the boys, mostly Legend, after school.
He liked Spider-Man, he liked Batman and all these other superheroes, Dragon Ball Z, all these little superheroes. And he became a superhero. He went out there to save his brother. That's a hero.
But they never should have been put in that situation in the first place, according to their family.
Get that fence put up around the water so no kid can get in there, period.
While the mayor was telling community members a fence was on the way, they say protection is only the first step.
Everywhere you look, these developments are going up, but like I said, you got to think about the kids when you're putting them up too.
Maybe there's a couple of benches, but no, there's not a park. There's not a space where people can gather and kids can gather and just be kids.
As they work to protect kids in the future, they're left with memories of the boys they lost.
Legend was a joy to be around. He always had a smile on his face.
We're going to miss the boys.
In Sun Prairie, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
A GoFundMe has been set up to raise money for burial expenses. You can find a link to that on channel3000.com, and so far, it has raised more than $83,000. Madison Police, two newest K9 units were officially sworn in, received their badges this afternoon. K9 Zeke and K9 Freddie Mercury will be used for narcotic detection and patrol work, as well as community outreach. They'll help serve a variety of tasks such as building searches, locating evidence, and tracking suspects. Both dogs joined the unit last year and completed their probationary field training period. They are now 7 dogs in the K9 unit. In Los Angeles today, Hunter Biden pleads not guilty to federal charges for allegedly failing to pay more than $1 million in taxes. The president's son arrived at the federal courthouse to enter his plea in the case brought by special counsel David Weiss. Hunter Biden facing 9 counts. Prosecutors say he enjoyed a lavish lifestyle while engaging in what they call a tax avoidance conspiracy. He has since paid back the IRS what he owed in taxes and penalties. Closing arguments are complete in the civil fraud trial against former President Donald Trump. The judge allowed the former president to speak in court, but cut him off after a few minutes, during which Trump called the trial a, quote, political witch hunt. New York Attorney General Letitia James is seeking $370 million in damages, accusing Trump and his company of defrauding insurance companies and banks. She also wants the former president to be barred from doing business in the state of New York. More stories are ahead at 10. Coming up, hardline conservatives are threatening a government shutdown unless changes come to the United States immigration policy. Puts new Speaker of the House Mike Johnson in a bind as he tries to avoid a shutdown altogether. That's next.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we get you equipped with quality tools and project supplies because we get you. Whether you're a hardworking pro or an ambitious DIYer, we get you what you need to get the job done. Right now, save on 80-piece Milwaukee bit sets, $24.99. This Craftsman propane heater, only $89.99. Plus, trade in any used power or hand tool for exclusive trade-in savings on select DeWalt tools and accessories. We get you what you need because we get you at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Spectrum Mobile brings you our best deal to start the new year. Now you can get unlimited mobile for $15 per line. Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for just $15 per line with no added taxes or hidden fees and no contracts. Save over $1,400 for the first year. Call 855-231-7007. Spectrum Mobile includes nationwide 5G and the fastest wireless speeds with unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for just $15 per line. Call 855-231-7007 or visit a Spectrum store near you.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Embrace the season of giving at the Century House. Donate $50 or more to charity and get $200 off any stressless recliner with power, any stressless recliner and ottoman, or any stressless home office chair. Or get $200 off each stressless sofa seat, or $400 off all stressless Mayfair recliners and ottomans in all Paloma leather colors. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show, we've got the very funny Niecy Nash Betts, plus the stunning Molly Sims. Then
you can't extinguish our
poet Jay Ivy burns it down.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Assembly Republicans' proposed medical marijuana plan isn't getting a lot of support in the Senate, but there is hope a compromise can still be made. Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu says having state-run dispensaries is a non-starter. The bill unveiled this week would limit medical marijuana only to those severely ill with chronic diseases like cancer. Marijuana would be sold at 5 state-run locations, but smokable marijuana would not be allowed. While speaking at a WISCPolitics.com event, LeMahieu said state-run dispensaries don't have the support among the caucus, saying in part, quote, "Why would we let government grow the size of government?" But he didn't rule out the possibility of a compromise being made that could result in legalizing medical marijuana, saying, quote, "I think there could be a way to do it." Right-wing conservatives in the House are threatening to force a government shutdown if lawmakers don't make significant changes to U.S. immigration policy. The calls for change are putting House Speaker Mike Johnson in a bit of a bind as he tries to avoid a partial shutdown by next week. Jen Sullivan looks at what's at stake.
Time is running out for lawmakers to pass a spending bill and avoid a partial government shutdown.
We're having thoughtful conversations about funding options and priorities.
There are 2 key deadlines looming. On January 19th, funding for parts of the government, including military construction, FDA, and housing and urban development programs, will run out. Funding for the rest of the government runs out February 2nd. As those deadlines approach, right-wing conservatives are threatening to derail a deal if Democrats don't agree to stricter immigration policies.
I do not want to fund a government that's working against us. Let's secure the border, and we have an opportunity, a unique opportunity to get that now with this spending bill.
On Sunday, a deal looked promising. House and Senate leaders announced they reached a top-line spending plan that would set overall spending close to $1.66 trillion for the 2024 fiscal year. But on Wednesday, a band of House conservatives protested the proposed plan on the House floor. And with a slim Republican majority, their lack of support jeopardizes any future deal.
It's sad and it's shameful that extreme MAGA Republicans have turned the House of Representatives into a spectacle?
Thursday, the group of hardline conservatives met with House Speaker Johnson for nearly 2 hours to try and negotiate further cuts and more immigration policies.
I've made no commitments.
If Speaker Johnson does revise the deal he reached with Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on Sunday, it could be a major setback in the overall negotiations. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Snapchat is giving parents the option to block their teens from interacting with the app's My AI chatbot. The announcement, part of a broader set of additions to Snapchat's Family Center parental oversight tool. It lets parents supervise the behavior of 13 to 17-year-old users. Snap rolled out My AI in April. The launch was quickly met with worries from parents about whether it was healthy for their kids to be communicating with a highly personalized computer chatbot. 2 original scripts from the show Friends, once thought to be lost, are now being auctioned off. Officials there have the guide price started about $760. The episodes, called The One with Ross's Wedding Part 1 and Part 2, were actually filmed in London. Many of you recall those episodes. When work was done, the scripts were thrown in the trash, later to be picked up by an employee, placed in a drawer, and forgotten about for years. ESPN has returned dozens of Emmy statues after an investigation revealed the awards were won by fraud. The investigation found the worldwide leader in sports submitted fake names to the Emmys in a bid to secure trophies for on-air personalities ineligible for them. The awards were then re-engraved and handed out to staff members. These members were reportedly unaware of the fraud. ESPN has apologized to the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, which administers the Emmys, and says it has overhauled its submission process to ensure it does not happen again. Well, this week you've likely seen plenty of snow plows, and that'll continue over the next few days ahead of the storm. But the Ohio Department of Transportation is sharing a video that serves as an important reminder to give plow drivers plenty of space. The plow, which is stopped between the divider here on the freeway on-ramp, had its blade hit by an SUV, which then skids off the road. You'll notice in the video the roads may have been wet, but there really wasn't even any snow around in this case. State troopers determined the driver of the SUV was at fault. Neither driver was hurt. The driver of the SUV did receive a ticket. And check out this dramatic video of what happens when a tornado goes right through a city's main street. This was Tuesday, Bamberg, South Carolina, between Columbia and Charleston. You saw the cars. They got out of the way just in time because within a matter of seconds, the tornado ripped right through the street and storefronts came crashing down onto the street. National Weather Service says the winds were estimated 125 miles an hour and the twister was about 400 yards wide. Take a look at this. That is snow in the Las Vegas Valley this morning. It is a rare sight out there, even rarer that it actually stuck in some places, blanketing parks and yards in the Las Vegas foothills with a thin layer of white powder. Back here in Wisconsin, we're getting ready for what we're getting used to this week, another blast of winter, and Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joins us with another look at try to peg down the timing and what we're looking at.
Second winter storm of the week, and it's going to be followed by bitterly cold temperatures. Let's start out by taking a look at the first warned weather alert day, or first the 3 things you need to know about the forecast. 7 to 12 inches is what we're looking at from tomorrow through tomorrow night and through Saturday afternoon. Most of the accumulating snow will be during the day tomorrow into tomorrow evening. We'll also see wind gusts of 50 miles per hour or greater in some spots. That's going to cause significant blowing and drifting snow. It actually could be worse tomorrow night and Saturday, even though the winds won't be quite as strong as they'll be during the day tomorrow. The snow tomorrow might be a little stickier with temperatures around freezing. As the temperatures drop into Saturday, it'll be a much more fine or powdery type snow. And then we've got bitterly cold temperatures and wind chills for much of next week. We do have the weather alert days in the forecast for tomorrow and for Saturday for that accumulating snow of 7 to 12 inches with the significant blowing and drifting. This is current snow depth. You can see, a couple of weeks ago we didn't have any snow on the ground. Now we've got 6 to 9 inches over parts of southwestern Wisconsin, and winter storm warnings in effect for southern Wisconsin, blizzard warnings for much of Iowa into southwestern Minnesota. This is what we're looking at snowfall-wise, probably about 9 to 12 inches through much of southern Wisconsin, more near Lake Michigan, a little bit less to the north and west, but pretty much most of the state is going to get hammered by this storm. Snow already spreading through much of Iowa and into western Illinois, but as we take a look at future track beginning at midnight, here comes the snow out of Iowa, crossing the Mississippi River by 3 a.m. into southwestern Wisconsin. Temperatures holding steady or even rising a few degrees into the upper 20s by early tomorrow morning. We'll start to see those heavier patches of snow develop, and those are the areas that will probably end up with more snow once all is said and done. You can see a pretty heavy band of snow near Janesville by noontime. Temperatures right around freezing for much of the day tomorrow. Again, that'll make the snow a little more sticky, but Watch what happens as we get into tomorrow evening. The snow continues, but the temperatures start to drop, winds start to become more northerly, and that starts to bring in the colder air. The snow becomes a little more patchy as we head into Saturday. Some flurries and some patchy snow showers with maybe an additional inch or two of snow during the day on Saturday. But notice by 6 a.m., temperatures already in the low 20s. By 9 a.m., they're in the low 20s to upper teens. Then we get into the middle teens by the time we get into late tomorrow afternoon. And that's when we're looking at that fine powdery snow that'll be blown around by the strong winds as temperatures continue to drop. Southern Wisconsin, again, 9 to 12 inches. Most areas a little bit more east of Madison and a little bit less, perhaps, north of the Dells. Then we watch the winds. Early tomorrow morning, winds start to get into the 15 to 25 mile per hour range. By 6 a.m., we start to see some gusts over 30 miles an hour. Look what happens by noon. We're starting to see wind gusts 30 to 45 miles per hour, maybe some 50 mile per hour gusts late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. That's going to cause considerable blowing and drifting snow. Then we have first warn weather alert days in the forecast from Sunday morning through Wednesday morning for bitterly cold temperatures, lows 0 to 15 below zero, and wind chills as cold as 35 below zero. Already wind chill watches to our south and west, wind chill warnings through North Dakota, and wind chill advisories through South Dakota. These are future track wind chills. By Saturday morning, they're already below zero. Notice by 5:30, around 10 below zero. By the time we get to midnight, early Sunday morning, they're around 10 to 15 below zero. And by early on Sunday morning, we're looking at wind chills perhaps 20 to 25 degrees below zero. We do have winter storm warnings in effect for all of southern Wisconsin. This now runs through noon on Saturday. Look for an overnight low temperature of 21 with steady temperatures after that. An inch or two of snow accumulation by morning. Tomorrow, occasional snow, heavy at times, become very windy. We could see some wind gusts over 50 miles per hour, high temperature of 32. First warn 7 to 10 day forecast, 23 early in the day on Saturday, then falling temperatures. No snow on Sunday, but notice those temperatures, single digits to teens below zero. High temperatures in the single digits, so even below zero wind chills during the day. Very cold for the end of next week, just not as bitter cold. Maybe a couple of chances for some snow showers or flurries later next week.
And coming up in sports, Bucks bully the Celtics and Drew Holiday's return to Milwaukee. How the Deer made Boston look silly in the process. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
A concert experience you won't want to miss. It's the Commodores. Performing live Saturday, February 17th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. 70 million albums sold, 7 #1 hits. The Grammy Award-winning Commodores. February 17th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
Hold on, I'm coming. You didn't tell me you were getting McDonald's.
Buy a sausage biscuit, sausage McMuffin, or sausage McGriddles and get one for $1.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
At RG Heating and Air Conditioning, our promise to you is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Guaranteed service, repairs, and replacements. Installing quality Trane equipment. Trust your home with RG Heating and AC.
Choose FlexBuy at a new Ford F-150 and get 3.9% APR financing for 66 months, plus $1,500 FlexBuy cash. See your local Ford dealer.
Want a flatter, tighter tummy? Then check out new Ab EX from Sono Bello.
Doctor, after my pregnancies, my body just never bounced back. I had this stomach overhang that made me really self-conscious.
It's not your fault.
That stubborn fat and excess skin is very difficult to get rid of with diet and exercise alone.
That's exactly why I went to Sono Bello. I really trust their team of experts, and I finally got the flat stomach I had always wanted.
Introducing Ab EX from Sono Bello. Remove fat and lose excess skin permanently in just one visit.
Ab EX is a great alternative to a tummy tuck because that overhang you mentioned becomes flat and tight fast with minimal downtime.
Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation now to learn more about Ab EX by Sono Bello. Call 1-888-285-6876 or go to sonobello.com.
Don't look now, but the silent assassin himself has Wisconsin alone atop of the Big Ten standings after last night's win at Ohio State. And as expected, on the road in conference play, it was more gritty than pretty. The latter, though, came from Max Klesman and his 18-point second half against the Buckeyes. But the best part about this team, being the high scorer doesn't matter as long as UW gets the win.
It's the mark of a really, really good team when I don't get consumed with having to get one guy going. Just take advantage of what's there, be a multi-dimensional player, share the ball, and as long as Wisconsin is having positive outcomes, that's all they don't care who's the leading scorer. They just want to make sure we're have the leading score at the end as a team.
Drew Holiday back in Milwaukee for the first time since the trade to Boston. Bucks taking on the Celtics, and Giannis made him look silly. First, he breaks Jaylen Brown's ankles, and then the rim. 24 points, 12 boards, and 6 assists in 26 minutes for the big man. And then later, it was Bobby Buckets time. Portis went 5 of 6 from deep and finished with 28 points off the bench. All Bucks in this one. They win 135-102. High school boys hoops, Stoughton taking on Baraboo in a Badger small showdown. What a start to this one for Ty Fernholz. The senior comes up with the steal and goes coast to coast for the easy deuce. He scored 11 of the Vikings' first 13 points. T-Birds trying to come back. Toby Lefevre takes it to the rack for 2, but Stoughton's ranked number 3 in D2 for a reason. Fernholz gonna find Carter Sullivan, and he dials one up from deep. Vikings roll in this one 79-36. After nearly a month off the ice, the Badger women didn't miss a beat. Wisconsin outscored Merrimack 12-2 to earn them a sweep in their first series in the new year. But it wasn't as easy as they made it look. Mark Johnson's squad had to shake off a little rust in the first couple of minutes. But now as they head back into WCHA play, this group says their legs are back to game shape.
Brushing the cobwebs off a little bit. We had a great week of practice leading up to the games. And so it's just about finding ourselves again, finding our team identity again. And I think we're at an even better point than we were last week. The really cool thing about this group is how we progress with each game and with each weekend.
And on the mat, former Mineral Point pointer Kylie Rule is making history at Wartburg. The freshman was named the NWCA's National Wrestler of the Month after a 9-0 December. It's the first national award in Wartburg women's wrestling history. Rule is a perfect 18-0 on the year. We're back after this.
A robotic money expert.
Clever. How do I start a savings habit?
Famous cabbage.
Savings habit.
Shaving rabbits.
Tech can make life simpler, but when it comes to savings habits, nothing's as simple as BMO. A BMO savings account helps you build the habit with a cash reward every month you save.
Cash reward? Ingenious.
Sardine fest.
This year's top prize goes to BMO.
I'm just in it for the saving, but it's nice to be recognized.
BMO.
This is how it feels to do more with less asthma, thanks to Dupixent. Dupixent is not for sudden breathing problems. It's an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma and can help improve lung function for better breathing in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent helps prevent asthma attacks and can even reduce or eliminate oral steroids. Imagine that. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling, or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Who knows what you can do when you do more with less asthma? Ask your doctor about Dupixent, the most prescribed biologic for asthma.
Pick and Save always gives you more ways to save on top of our lower than low prices. And when you download the Pick and Save app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons and earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. With a Boost membership, you'll save even more with double fuel points and free delivery. Discover more ways to save big every day. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
We got the house! We did it! Pods handles the driving. Pack at your pace, store your things until you're ready, then we deliver to your new home, across town or across the country. Pods, your personal moving and storage team.
Right now with Papa Murphy's, we've got a great deal.
Which means I make more great pizza.
It's not an I thing, Dad. It's a we thing.
Get a large 2-topping take and bake pizza for just $10.99. Order now at papamurphys.com.
Donate blankets to our neighbors in need during Recycle the Warm.
Gary's back. Final check of the forecast. How's your week going, Gary?
So far, so good. You know, this is only the second winter storm we've had, you know,
oh,
so
boy.
nothing like overkill. Well, let's start out by taking a look at high-resolution radar. No snow out there right now, but you can see 6-hour future track radar shows a big change once we start getting past midnight. The snow overspreading all of southern Wisconsin. By tomorrow morning, probably looking at about 1 to 2, maybe locally 3 inches of snow. By the time all is said and done by late Saturday afternoon, about 9 to 12 inches, most areas. A little bit less perhaps north of the Dells, a little bit more east of our area toward Lake Michigan. Current temperatures right now in the middle to upper 20s. Highs tomorrow in the lower 30s, and then more bitterly cold weather next week, too.
All right, stay with our morning crew tomorrow and with us all day long for the very latest.